The delivery app pinged at 8:03 a.m., order cancelled, vendor unavailable. My walk-in cooler hummed and then went silent. I had 120 lattes booked by 9 o'clock. The supplier just texted, "We stopped shipping to you." Pause. I owned the Corner Bean, a tiny coffee shop on 4th and Marlow. I had opened it in 2016 with a $22,000 SBA microloan and one hand-me-down espresso machine. We did breakfast sandwiches, single-origin pour-overs, and a pastry case people queued for. We were making about $9,400 a month gross and paying 4 staff. I was proud, exhausted, and always 2 steps away from the red. Fresh Café was 3 blocks away. They were a regional chain with chrome chairs, a marketing team, and a CEO named Dylan Mercer who liked LinkedIn quotes about disrupting the space. Fresh opened the block last year. At first, customers joked. Then lunches disappeared. Our pastry supplier started giving Fresh first dibs. The farmer who trucked our eggs was suddenly committed to Fresh. It felt like being elbowed out of my own neighborhood. I tried to be small and quiet. I negotiated better prices. I tweaked the menu. I begged my suppliers. Still, my wholesale deliveries went spotty. I lost a payroll week in July 2023. I lost 2 staff later that month because they needed stable wages. My stress was constant. I felt like something darker was happening. On November 8, 2023 at 7:58 a.m. my pastry chef, Jenna, called me frantic. They just texted me. OceanGate says no more deliveries. They said someone above paid them to stop. My hands were shaking when I walked to the back. The cooler door felt heavier than it should. My phone buzzed again at 8:16, a photo. It was a screenshot of a wire transfer receipt. The sender read, Fresh Marketing LLC. The beneficiary read, OceanGate Logistics. The amount, $15,000. Timestamp, November 6, 2023, 11:12 p.m. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to scream. I did the opposite. I sat down and listened. OceanGate was the only refrigerated route that could get our smoked salmon and cold brew kegs on time. Without them, I literally couldn't open. Jenna and I called the OceanGate manager, a woman named Lena. At 9:04 a.m. she sent me a text, "I shouldn't be telling you this." They called, they said cut them off and they showed us the wire. We couldn't survive if we lost Fresh's business. The text included a photo of a text from a number saved as Dylan SF that said, "Make them hurt. We need the corner. Pay whatever." Pause. I was furious and scared. I was also, oddly, a little hopeful. If there was a paper trail, I could prove it. If I could prove it, I could make noise. If I made enough noise, maybe the tiny truth would swell into something that could save us. First, I documented everything. I copied the wire transfer screenshots of the supplier texts, and Lena's messages. I printed them at 11:30 a.m. My hands were still shaking. I wrote a timeline. November 6th, wire to OceanGate. November 7th, OceanGate stops shipments. November 8th, Fresh runs a grand opening coupon for the neighborhood. I contacted a lawyer at 2:15 p.m. Her name was Carla Menendez. She had worked small business cases before. She told me there were 3 possible claims: tortious interference, conspiracy, and false complaints. But you'll need more proof than texts, she said. Anything showing intent, invoices, transfer memos, internal emails, or a witness who will talk on record will help. Carla's hourly rate was $350. I had $1,100 in my account. I asked if she could help on contingency. She said she'd take a small retainer and bootstrap the case if we moved fast. I posted a short message on our cafe's email list at 4:02 p.m. It didn't blame anyone. It said simply, "We are closed tomorrow due to supply issues, we are fighting to reopen. If you can, please spread the word and come back." I did not mention Fresh. I needed a witness who would talk on record. Lena agreed to meet me at 6:30 that night at a diner 2 towns over. She was 27 and looked 10 years older under fluorescent lights. "I didn't want to be part of it," she said, voice low. "They called last week." Dylan's ops manager sent our director a spreadsheet showing C-Fresh's orders for Q4. Then he sent a directive: prioritize us. Drop competitors. He said there was an account code pending payment. When we asked who authorized, they said, "It's covered." Then the wire appeared. If we didn't comply, they'd threatened to pull a $40,000 monthly contract. She slid me a small envelope. It had a printed PDF, an internal memo from C-Fresh procurement that read, "Confidential, prioritize C-Fresh deliveries on all active routes." See attachment, transfer confirmation. The memo had a timestamp and a ridiculous internal reference number. It had a faint footer that read, "Prepared by D. Mercer." A week later, at a county food safety hearing, an inspector read aloud a complaint filed by Anonymous alleging the corner bean had an unclean backroom. It was time for Friday afternoon, the time our regulars came for pastry orders. We had spotless records. But the county closed us for sanitation checks at 4 p.m., right when C-Fresh rolled out a "We Welcome Our Neighbors" free coffee promotion. Carla filed a subpoena for C-Fresh's bank records and OceanGate's communications on November 21st. That same day I called Mark Sue at the neighborhood paper. He'd covered local business for 10 years. He listened. His eyes, over coffee, got sharp. "If they're paying to influence vendors and filing false complaints, that's not competition. That's criminal," he said. He promised to run an inquiry and would want documents. We moved like a small army. Lena gave a sworn affidavit on November 25th. Carla got the subpoenas served on November 28th. Mark published his first piece on December 2nd, "Whispers of a Payoff, Did C-Fresh Buy the Block?" He included the wire transfer screenshot and the OceanGate memo Lena had slipped me. The piece spread. It landed on a local radio station at 7:10 a.m. the next morning. People started calling C-Fresh's corporate line. C-Fresh's PR fired back on December 4th. They issued a statement denying any payments. Dylan posted a video, corporate, calling our accusations an orchestrated smear. They sent a legal letter to me and to Mark's paper threatening defamation. Carla expected that. They'll try to bury you in legal fees. We will counter and we can force discovery. The more we expose, the more risk they have. She was right. Pressure mounted on C-Fresh's investors. The bank that financed their expansion had a covenant, no undisclosed litigation risk. Citigroup's local lending office called for an emergency review when Mark's second article showed C-Fresh's internal procurement memo. Their CFO, according to internal emails obtained in discovery, had known about the transfer but called it marketing expense in the ledger. The state attorney general opened a criminal inquiry on December 11 after Mark forwarded the bank transfer and the OceanGate affidavit. A forensic accountant traced the $15,000 as part of multiple payments totaling $112,000 from C-Fresh between October and November, all to vendor prioritization accounts. The investigator asked if anyone could link those accounts to attempts to silence competitors. We had Lena and the timing. We had the county complaint queued right before C-Fresh's promotions. We had internal memos. The facts knitted together. C-Fresh fought back in court and in PR. They filed a countersuit saying I was trying to extort them with false allegations. The judge ordered an expedited discovery schedule. We spent the next 3 months in depositions and hearings. I slept in my office creaking with the stress. I lost 12 pounds. There were nights I cried in the walk-in cooler because the stress made me forget to eat. Then the leverage flipped. On February 7, 2024, C-Fresh's primary lender sent a notice. They were calling $2.4 million in loans due immediately unless C-Fresh could find bridge financing. The lender cited material adverse change because of the criminal inquiry and undisclosed payments. 3 of C-Fresh's largest corporate clients, a school district, a hospital, and a local hotel chain, told C-Fresh's account manager they were pausing orders pending the outcome. C-Fresh's CFO resigned at 9:14 a.m. that day. Dylan tried to placate employees with an email at 11:02 a.m., We are confident in our processes and will fully cooperate. The email felt thin. On February 20, 2024, C-Fresh filed for Chapter 11. 2 weeks after that, as the discovery process dragged on, the company pivoted to liquidation. The state attorney general announced charges of conspiracy to interfere with business operations and misuse of corporate funds. Dylan Mercer was indicted. The bank named in the transfer audits froze several C-Fresh accounts. Their PR team disappeared. I felt a sour victory. They were exposed. They were collapsing. But it didn't fix everything. I had lost 3 months of sales. I had paid Carla $9,800 in retainer and fees. I had replaced 2 staff. The bank came calling about the loan covenant I had triggered with missed payroll. I was tired to my bones. But then the aftermath turned kinder than I expected. On April 12, 2024, a court-ordered settlement was announced. C-Fresh's liquidator agreed to a $48,750 settlement to several small businesses and suppliers wronged by the company's supplier interference scheme. My bank agreed to a short forbearance after Mark's readers started a crowdfunding drive and 1,200 people donated to the Corner Bean, raising $16,300. The local community rallied. A bakery down the street organized a Keep the Beans Warm fundraiser. We reopened fully on May 1st. I rehired Jenna and Miguel. Business was slower, but loyal customers came back. We added a community support board in the shop with the names of donors. I cried when I pinned the first name up. C-Fresh's liquidation left a void. Some suppliers who had been under contract with them returned to independent routes. OceanGate publicly apologized to us on May 8 and signed a new 6-month contract at a lower rate, more transparent this time. Lena was offered a job at a nonprofit watchdog group. Mark's paper won a local journalism award. Dylan Mercer pleaded guilty to corporate misconduct in September. He paid fines and avoided jail, but his career was over. I didn't celebrate his fall. I felt relief. I felt tired. I felt hollow pockets from legal bills but richer in another currency, the neighborhood's trust. I had been small and vulnerable. I had been shoved. I had been punished for being local. I chose to fight back with paperwork, witnesses, reporters, and a lawyer who believed in small businesses. It was messy. It cost me sleep, money, and part of my sanity. 2 things surprised me. 1. How many people came forward once someone else had the courage to name the system? 2. How fragile the giant looked once lenders and reputation turned away. When I flipped open the notebook where I had written the timeline at 11:38 a.m. on that first day, I realized revenge wasn't about crushing someone else. It was about making the facts visible and letting the pressure of the truth do its work. I still patch the holes C-Fresh left in my cash flow. I still check invoices twice. I still tell customers, we fight for what's ours. Sometimes, at 7:30 a.m. when the first regular walks in and says, "You're the best coffee on this block," my hands still shake, but now from gratitude. The corner isn't mine alone anymore, and maybe that keeps it safe. What would you have done if your small business was getting shoved out by a giant with pockets and a plan? Pause.